Just give us your thoughts on your team's performance in the overall result today.
Yeah, well, listen, result and performance was very good. Easter Road is one of the toughest places to come in Scottish football, so I thought we managed the game very well. Made a great start, which you want. Scored 2 very good goals. We were really slick in other moments in the game. Second half, we just had a little spell where the game became too long for us. We didn't shorten the game how we normally do and play quickly through the lines, and then so it gets stretched a wee bit too much for my liking. But we've always got control of the game. If I was nitpicking, I would say we have to be more clinical. We scored 2 and again could have had 4 or 5 goals. So the creative side's there. Balance was really good in the team, and yeah, it's a very good win for us.
When we spoke to you just on the eve of the season beginning, you said that one of the coaches at Chelsea said it looks like a Brendan side. That must be what you were thinking, especially in that first half where you saw the team just moving it about 2-0 up within 20 minutes as well.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that at all.
No, you said that someone said to you it looks like.
Yeah, player, yeah.
Yeah. You must be.
But that's different. That's not a coach.
Sorry, it was a former player said it to you. So is that what you're thinking though? When you see your team today in that first half, you're thinking that it really looks like what you want out of it?
Well, I see a Celtic team that's aggressive. A Celtic team, and my time here has always attacked well and pressed well. That's the nature of how we want to work. You know, that's the philosophy of going into the next game, making it a special game, and for us to make it special, we have to attack and press the game well. So there's a lot of what I see I really like. We always want to improve, but the biggest combination I see that makes me really happy is, and it's the combination you want as a manager in a team, is that to have the winning attitude and quality. That's what you want in your team, and I think we've seen that in lots of spells of the game, and especially in Callum's goal, which was absolutely brilliant. So that's the quality. The winning attitude is there, and the work rate was there right to the very end. So yeah, whatever team it is, you just wanted to have that combination, and that combination is worked very well.
Independent scoring goals wasn't a problem for you in pre-season or last week, but that ruthlessness, that clinical finishing that you felt was maybe lacking today, how much can you put that down to the stage of the season that you're at? And
no, listen, I'm not going to be critical. I'm not, write whatever headline you want. I'm not going to criticize. What I'm saying is that we could have finished more opportunities, but I'm not going to criticise the players today. We've scored 4 goals in about 4 or 5 games on the trot. So and it's early season. So no, it's just sometimes the keeper makes a save, it doesn't quite drop for you, a little bit of luck. But the game I'm happy with.
That was an imperious performance from your captain.
Yeah, brilliant. That's what happens when he retires from Scotland. So hopefully there's many more goals to come. No, listen, I've managed him in so many games over the 2 spells here now. I know his quality, and I know his game inside out, and so it doesn't surprise me. He's scored so many goals for me over especially the first spell, a few this spell, but yeah, 25, 30 yards out is a wonderful strike, and as I said, that's what you need in your team, and he possesses quality.
I mean, there was a moment, I think he tracked back 30 yards to win the ball. His work off the ball was just as impressive as on it.
Well, you have to do that. I think any successful team that has the spirit and the energy, that's what you want your players to be able to do, and he typifies that so well. But everyone has to do it, not just Carl. And I think today, when you keep clean sheets in a game, it means everyone's working, everyone's together, everyone's synchronised. And but when it's led by your captain, it sets a great example.
Steve Clark was here today, Brendan. Can you almost feel a sympathy for him that suddenly he doesn't have him, given how well he's playing? I wouldn't say it all.
Yeah, no, listen, he's played so many games, hasn't he? Yeah, I think I'm going to give Carl a few days off on international breaks. He'll relish it. I think he's getting into a stage of his career. Yeah, listen, I do feel for Steve because he's a quality player, of course. But from a Celtic perspective, for longevity for him, his career, his recovery. There's so many games now. It's a 12-month season. for him to get these little periods of recover, to recover and rest, will be important for him. He got no winter break this year either. So I think that he's such an intense player for me, and on and off the pitch, those little windows where you can give him that breather will do him the world of good.
Brendan, that's 3 goal contributions from Kuhn, but 2 cracking performances from Kuhn without goals. You must be quite happy with the way that's going.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't. I've said it before. I don't need him to be scoring 40 goals.
But he is involved.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it took him a little bit of time probably to understand. For me, that it's not always on the last line. But for me, I want him to play the space rather than the position. The position, we all know he can go into depth like we see in the first goal. But the modern game, especially when you have man-to-man marking, creates that possibility on the inside. And we see that if your midfielders are creating the space, then the obvious pass is through the middle. But you need the striker to be available, not always running away from the ball. So I think he's playing the space really well. He's running in behind, he's coming short, he's linking it. He should have scored today. So but don't blame him. He's playing really, really well. He's playing really well, and shame his shoulder popped out, I think. So yeah, but he's playing really well. Aye. I think it's just one of the ones that he did not would fall. The guys put it back in again, but he felt the soreness, and I don't need to risk him.
It's a real concern for you, isn't it? But you must be sweating, Brendan, every time he goes down at the moment. On any apparent knock,
Listen, we know what we need. We've always known what we need. So my focus is really with the players that's here, and hopefully we can strengthen the squad over the coming weeks. Like you say, there's other players that can go in and play that position, and that's what we have to do whilst we're waiting for players to come in.
Just going back to Kuhn, he seems to have an additional burst of pace that really gives him an extra yard or something. Is that just the process of obviously what we got?
Yeah. I just think it's time, isn't it? I think we all expect people to adapt straight away. You'd love them to, manager, coaches, supporters. You would want them to be ready straight away, but he came into the club in a challenging period in January. He had issues around his fitness and health and everything else. He just landed in the middle of that challenging period, and it just took him a little bit of time. But he's had a really good pre-season. He's always been he's one of the quickest players that you'll see. But I think now the variety in his game, coming inside, outside, and the big thing that when I spoke to him when he came in was, you need to score goals. You're a winger, you need to create and score. That's your job. Similar to Matt Riley, you can't be going through 6 months and scoring your first goal in January, the previous season. So it's these guys contributing and doing their job, and he's doing his job very well. He's a good guy who works hard, and that position is something that we constantly tell him to get into. Get in the second post, be there, all the wingers, be ready for crosses, and he started the season well.
How's Alistair Johnson and Mikey Johnson?
Yeah, Mikey was precaution really. He felt a wee bit dazed when he came up. I didn't think it was a penalty. But he was dazed enough in the challenge. He tried to go out there, but he was a wee bit blurred in his vision, so we come off. Ali just felt a wee bit of tightness, so no need to risk when we get Tony Ralston on the side. And they closed the game out really well.
How's Lewis Palmer?
Yeah, he's probably maybe 10 days to a couple of weeks. I think when you watch the challenge back, it was a really nasty injury for him, and he done amazing to play on when you actually see the rotation in his ankle. But so he's obviously still a wee bit of time away, but great to have Dyson back.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.